Hello and welcome to 10,000 Stitches Podcast, episode 78. I think I said that in the reverse order than normal, but it's going to be a weird day, so yeah. Anyway, welcome to 10,000 Stitches Podcast. My name is Andy. If you wanted to find me on the interwebs, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Purlbug, P-U-R-L-B-U-G. You can find my blog at thepurlbug.com, and then we have the 10,000 Stitches podcast group on Ravelry. If you're looking for links to anything that I mentioned today, any shops or patterns or anything like that, if you're watching on the embedded video on the blog or the Ravelry thread, everything will be linked right below the video. If you're watching on YouTube, in the description box below the video, there will be a link to the blog post, and then there you can find everything linked below the video. Like I said, it's going to be a weird day. It's another Monday that I'm recording after work. I managed to get out of work a little bit early, but I am losing my light quickly. So my guess is that this is going to be a shorter episode, but it is currently Monday, October 30th. This episode will go up tomorrow, Tuesday, October 31st. So happy Halloween. And we'll kind of do the usual stuff, finished objects, works in progress, coming up next, knit along stuff, all that. But a lot of those will be empty segments. So we'll go with it. But I'm actually wearing something that I knit today, which is not a normal thing entirely. But this, if you haven't been around for a while, you may not know, this is a shawl that I designed. I did not dye the yarn, but it is a shawl that I designed. It's the Super Simple Sock Shawl. I've been getting a lot of wear out of it lately because it's just really nice to have kind of around my neck for like the cooler fall days. So yeah, pretty excited about it. Speaking of wearing things that I've been knitting, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed that I've been doing this thing recently since my birthday. I turned 28 about 2 weeks ago now or so. And I decided that, a birthday is as good of a time to start a new challenge for myself as anything else. And so I decided to start my hashtag Year of Hand Knits. I think that's the hashtag I'm using. I'll pop it down along the bottom of the screen, just in case that's not right. But yeah, it's basically my challenge to myself to wear one thing that I've knit every single day for a year. And just, try and get myself to, one, wear more hand knit things, and two, knit more things to wear. So I've been putting them on Instagram. I don't post them every single day. I tend to group them into groups of 4, just so I'm not spamming you guys with mostly pictures of my feet, because it's mostly socks that I'm wearing. This is my life. Anyway, but yeah, so maybe you'd want to join me on that. And if you do, use the same hashtag and I will check out your pictures, and that'll be great fun because we could all use more excuses to wear knit things. But let's get on to the things that I've actually been knitting. So in terms of finished objects, I don't actually have any. If you watched the vlog that I posted last week, you'll know that I finished up Wesley's socks for him just in time to leave them with him up in New Hampshire. So I guess those would really be my only finished object, and I don't have them. So we'll move along to works in progress. One thing that I've been working on is my fizzy pumpkin drink socks. Those were what I cast on when I was traveling back from New Hampshire last weekend. I haven't gotten much work done. I'm just maybe that far into them. As a reminder, this is what it looks like. This is the finished one. I'm working on the second one right now, but this is what it looks like. It's a pattern by Pearlescent. The pattern is Effervesce, and I'm knitting it with my hand-dyed yarn in the That Pumpkin Drink colorway. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it, but it's definitely slow going because at the top here, that's where like the cable part is most dense. And so it's just pretty slow. But those are at work right now, and I forgot them in my desk, so I don't have them here to show you, or I don't have the other one here to show you. But yeah, like I said, I maybe only am about that far into it, so not much to show there. But my other work in progress is the thing that I've mostly been working on since I got back, and that is a new sweater. Because, of course, as soon as I said I wasn't going to knit any more sweaters anytime soon, that's when I decided I was going to knit another sweater. So I've been knitting another sweater, and this sort of goes with my year of hand knits, and it also sort of was sparked by Celeste of Yarn to Table, who I know I talk about her podcast all the time because I love her, and I think if we lived near each other in real life, we would be friends. But anyway, she was talking, I guess not in her most recent episode now, but the one before this one, episode 34 maybe, I forget, but she was talking about wanting to knit more garments and sort of feeling like it's easy for like knitters to get distracted with big projects that don't seem like big projects. And she was talking about this in relation to her Marled Magic shawl, which is a huge project. And she was saying that like in that amount of time and with that amount of yarn, she could have knit a sweater, but she didn't. And now she has something which was fun to knit and everything, but maybe not as wearable and it isn't a garment. And it kind of like struck a nerve with me where it's like, you know what? Yeah, like that's true. Like I spend a lot of time on things that like, if I just grouped all that time together, I could have a garment out of it. And I would really like a closet full of hand knit sweaters. And I just need to put the energy and devotion towards them that I did towards socks about a year ago. And now I have a whole drawer full of socks. And so I just need to do the same thing with sweaters. So anyway, so I cast on a sweater. And this is where I am on it. I'm actually very far on it because like I said, I've been devoting a lot of energy to this. So I am on the bottom ribbing. This is based on the Polly cardigan, which I've already knit one of before. That was the first sweater that I ever knit. But I have heavily modified this pattern. And I will eventually be posting the notes on my project page on Ravelry as to how I've modified it. But long story short, I'm actually working it in reverse stockinette. So this is the outside. I was showing you guys the inside before. This is the outside. So the outside is the, purl bump side. And I have been doing the raglan increases with these lines of knit stitches to kind of show them off, just to show off the raglan a little bit. I've also added an extra stitch in between to do seaming, kind of faux seaming, but we'll talk more about that later. I've also kept up that detail along the sides, right? So I will sort of have this line of like knit stitches along the side to kind of be like a faux seam. And yeah, like I said, I'm on the ribbing now on the bottom, although I'm not liking the way that it's working up because I wanted to do twisted rib and I just feel like it's not quite, it doesn't really look the way that I want it to, and I'm only maybe 5 rows in, and I feel like, especially with something as big as a sweater, like I don't want to compromise on things, right? So if I'm not loving the way the ribbing's turning out, I'm going to rip it out and redo it. And I was just doing a 1x1 twisted rib, and I don't love it, so I think I'm going to rip it out and do 2x2 rib instead. So not a lot of progress lost. But yeah, I have been a very busy bee on this, and I've been working on it for about 10 days now, and I'm almost done with the body. So that really proves to me that I can knit sweaters and I can knit garments. I just need to like stay focused on them. But the yarn that I'm using for this is the yarn that you guys are seeing yet again. This is from my, it was first for the Viajante. I first started knitting it up into the Viajante, and then I frogged that, and then I started knitting a Tempest cardigan, frogged that, and now this is the 3rd iteration of it, and I think this is the time that it's actually going to stick. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It's my hand-dyed yarn. It's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon sock yarn. This I'm knitting on US size 4s, which are a 3.5mm needle, I believe. And yeah, you can see 2 little lobster clasps. I have such a hard time saying that. 2 little lobster clasps on here. Those actually are marking where I started and stopped alternating skeins when I was running out of my first skein. So I don't know if maybe I did it for way longer than you should, but I'm a horrible judge of like when I'm gonna run out of yarn, so I figured better to start early rather than late. I don't know if this was like a sweater where I necessarily needed to alternate skeins, but again, it's best practice and I figured I should do it. I actually ran all the way to the end of this skein, which again, you shouldn't do because of course the sleeves are worked in that first skein, so you should have some of that left. But I actually have a little bit of that first skein left because of the way that it unraveled when I was unraveling my Tempest. So I figured this I would ball up then and use to alternate on the sleeves just for the first little bit with the new skein of yarn for the sleeves. So I was thinking ahead. But yeah, I'm just really excited about it. The major modifications, right? So reverse stockinette. I also did not do the V-neck increases on here. So right, so I've only done the increases sort of along the edges of the sleeves, and I did not do the V-neck increases because I wanted this to be an open front cardigan. I basically wanted to recreate this black cardigan that I'm wearing right now, which is a store-bought cardigan from Target. But I really, really like this one. It's sort of, it's open front, obviously. It has a really sort of wide neckband. Like, this is where the button band starts and this is where it ends. So it's got this really sort of wide neckband. And I just really, really like this sweater. And so I kind of wanted to recreate it. So that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I've modified the poly to be open front, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put long sleeves on it or maybe just 3/4 length sleeves. We'll see how much yarn I have. But yeah, I'm just really, really excited about it. And that's my only other work in progress right now. Like, I am really just trying to stay focused and get this thing done. And then in terms of what's coming up next, I will probably after this, I want to finish up my Ondine socks because I am on the second one of those, and I think it will not take very long to finish it. I just want to get this done first. So I'll probably finish up that second Ondine sock, and then I'll finally get to starting my exploration station. So I'm hoping that if I stay focused, I might have this done by next weekend, or be finishing it up next weekend. So hopefully you guys will see a new cast on by the next time I record an episode. So that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But yeah, it's amazing what you can do when you just put your mind to it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some dyeing that I've been doing recently, and then we'll talk about knit-along stuff. Sorry, something outside distracted me. Dyeing, and then we'll talk about knit-along stuff, and then I don't have a question of the week, and yeah. So, some dyeing that I did. I finally got the inspiration to dye up some yarn again over the weekend, and these are 2 of the skeins that I dyed. The other one is not quite dry yet, so we'll leave that. But anyway, this is one of them, and this is called Creeper. And I know that the light is not doing these any justice. I took some only slightly better pictures with my phone just a couple minutes ago, and so I'll try and put those on the screen as well. But yeah, this one is called Creeper, and it is an ode to Minecraft. So yeah, the creepers. If you have no idea what Minecraft is a video game, and in it you have all of these sort of like, they're called hostile mobs, and they're basically, you know, characters, you know, created within the game, like artificial intelligence kind of stuff that try to kill you. And one of them is a creeper, and I'll try and pop a picture of one up on the screen, but they sort of have this like mottled green appearance, and what they do is they creep up behind you really quietly, and then once they get close enough, if they're close enough for long enough and you don't notice and you don't kill them, they boom, explode, right? So yeah, creepers, I like them. But yeah, so this is inspired by creepers, and then this one is called Juliet is the Sun. And this is totally not what I was going for when I put it in the dye pot, but I love what came out. And again, the name comes from, it's from Romeo and Juliet. It's, let's see, soft what light through yonder window breaks, it is the east and Juliet is the sun, blah, 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 blah. I used to know that whole thing by heart because I had to memorize it in high school. But yeah, I thought it really reminded me sort of like sunrise. And so this one, I don't know that I'll be able to part with it. I might keep this one for myself because I really love it. And I think it will knit up beautifully into like a shawl or something, because I just think it's so pretty. But anyway, yeah, so that's some dyeing that I've been doing. In terms of the knit along, right? So when you guys are seeing this, if you're watching this on the day it goes up, that will be the very last day of our 5th knit along of 2017. And the 6th and last knit along of 2017 will begin on November 1st. It will run from November 1st to December 31st. Like I said, I'm recording this before the other one ends, so I will announce the winner for the knit along 5 next episode, but I will let them know probably before then. But yeah, so the 6th knit along, the color theme for this one is brown or gray, and the technique theme is try something new. So I kind of wanted to have a little bit looser technique theme for this last one just because, you know, we're getting towards the holidays, a lot of people are busy, a lot of people might be gift knitting, so I really wanted to have a little bit looser theme. So try something new is basically however you want to interpret that, right? So you could try a new technique. You know, maybe if you never have tried 2-color brioche or something and you meant to get to it during the colorwork stuff, but you just didn't have time, try it, right? If it's new, try it. Maybe you want to try, I don't know, right? There's tons of techniques, right? Maybe you want to try a crochet project for the first time. You know, you're a knitter and you want to try crocheting. Do that. Maybe you want to try Tunisian crochet. Maybe you want to try weaving, right? I'll even allow weaving in for this because that's something new. So, you know, it could be a new technique. It could also be a new, you know, designer maybe, right? Like I wanted to make my exploration station and I've never knit a Stephen West pattern before, so that would totally fit for me for the try something new. It would not quite work because of the other rules, but you know, you could try a new designer. You could try a new yarn dyer or a new yarn company, right? Like you could try knitting with yarn from a dyer that you've never knit with before. And I know a lot of people are on spending bans for 2017. I'm trying to knit from stash, which if you are still doing that, you are amazing. But right, like anyone with a sizable stash probably has yarn in it from a dyer that they've never knit with before. I know I do, and I don't have the like world's biggest stash. So, you know, you could do that. I feel like there's just lots of things you could do in terms of the try something new. And if you know, are concerned about it, you can definitely ask in the chatter thread. But as long as it's something that's new to you, that works for me. And unlike previous knit-alongs where I have typically put up some example patterns for things that would work, I probably won't be doing that for this one just because, again, what is new for you is not necessarily new for everyone else. So if you have concerns about it, let me know. But yeah, it could be a brand new pattern to Ravelry, right? Maybe something that just came up. You could definitely do that too. So yeah, like I said, technique is try something new. Color is brown or gray. Again, that's kind of, you know, open to interpretation in terms of how you want to define brown and gray. I will include black and probably black and white even under gray because they are just different shades of gray. But yeah, the other rules are pretty much the same as normal, right? Between 50 and 150 grams worth of yarn for the finished project. You can group together different things like smaller items to get up to that weight. Like if you were making baby things or something like that. Can be any sort of other thing that you want, right? Like I said, you can be crocheting, you can be knitting, it can be any sort of pattern category. You could weave something, any weight yarn, right? Just so long as it fits the 50 to 150 grams and the color theme and the technique theme, or the color theme or the technique theme, you're golden. So yeah, and I'm sure I will have some prize yarn for that soon. I haven't really thought too much about it yet because the end of October has sort of snuck up on me, but I'm sure I will soon. I actually might try and buy some yarn from somewhere that I'm going in November, which would be kind of fun and special. We'll see. Anyway, so that's that for the knit along stuff. We have actually had a ton of finished objects for this one. For the current one, which is the color work or orange, which has been really fun. A lot of people doing color work, which has been just really, really cool to see and very inspiring to me, but I'm not sure that color work is, I don't know, maybe color work is something I will never really understand, but whatever. So yeah, that's going to be it for the knitting stuff. Like I said, I don't have a question of the week for you guys this week, so so if you were only here for the knitting stuff, thank you very much for hanging out. I'm sure it was a very short episode this week, but yeah. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next week. Otherwise, I'm going to do just as much chit-chat as I can record for the rest of this clip, and then I'll be done. Yeah, I actually sat down to record yesterday and realized I just didn't have it in me, so I was actually expecting to not have an episode up this week at all. So this is at least better than that. But yeah, I had sort of a miserable weekend just because I didn't sleep very well Friday or Saturday night. Again, the whole living on a busy street thing. I live near, you know, a couple of different universities, and so there was just a lot of noise outside this weekend overnight, and I just didn't sleep well, and so that hit me yesterday, and I just wasn't feeling very good, so I was like, I don't want to record. But otherwise, things have been going pretty good. As you guys may have seen, I posted the vlog of my visit up to New Hampshire last weekend, so that was a lot of fun. I miss Wesley already, but I actually just booked tickets yesterday or the day before. Over the weekend, I booked plane tickets to go up there for Thanksgiving, so that's very exciting. I'm very excited to go see him for Thanksgiving. And we're actually, over that break, going to be going over to Montreal to see a friend of mine in Canada. So that is going to be really fun. He lives a fair distance away, but like Montreal brings it, like it's a midpoint for both of us, and it brings it into a reasonable driving distance. Plus I've never been to Montreal. So yeah, I thought that would be really fun. And I know there's like a couple of yarn shops in Montreal, so that's where I'm thinking about maybe going to get prize yarn. Super excited. But yeah, and I also tried to get my hotel reserved for Vogue Knitting Live, only to find out that all of the reserved space that they have at the hotel has been booked out, so which is kind of fine. I figure I'll just get a hotel somewhere nearby and probably pay less. And at least now the time pressure is off. It's like, well, if I can't get a hotel room there, then I can get a hotel room anywhere at any time. So, but yeah, I am still planning on going to Vogue Knitting Live in New York in January. So I'm very excited about that. Starting to make some plans for that. But otherwise, yeah, I've just been busy at work, and yeah, there's just not enough hours in the day. So if you didn't watch the vlog, something that I mentioned in there, which I can't seem to stop talking about, right? So that Friday, so not this past Friday, but the Friday before, I went and got a bunch more dental work done, which again, I have a feeling that is like a little bit too high. So I will be back there again this Friday to try and get that smoothed down. But that brings me 3/4 of the way done with all of this stupid dental work that I have to get done. And now I only have one more set. The bottom right set just needs to get done, and then I'll be free until I have to go get another cleaning. And so yeah, that'll be good. I'm very excited to be done with that. I mean, my dentist is nice, but I don't enjoy seeing her this often. But yeah, otherwise things have just been busy. And when I'm not busy, I've been, I don't know, just keeping myself busy. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. I can tell that I'm losing my light and I'm starting to get hungry. I would like to eat some dinner. So I think that's going to be it for this week. Very, very short episode, so I apologize for that, I guess. Kind of sorry, not sorry, but yeah, that's going to be it for me. Thank you very much for hanging out, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye.